Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. And you might be thinking, Tuesday? We were working out of Thursdays, and there was no cast last week. Yeah, well, I had my head in the toilet last Thursday. What do you want from me? The dreaded norovirus struck once again. So yeah, today's cast should have been the one that was put out on Thursday. I actually did a bit of research afterwards into norovirus, and Google reliably informs me that the average person can expect to contract norovirus 5 times in their lifetime. Well, considering I've had it 5 times every year, once a year for the last 5 years, I'm super excited about never getting it ever again. Somehow I think that's unlikely, don't you? But anyway, not to worry. Maybe, if you guys are good, you might get a second cast out on Thursday. We'll wait and see. Anyway, if you're fine and dandy, I hope you are, and if you're not, feel better, because we've got custom 5v5 action on the cards this afternoon with a smattering of Joes and pros, an eclectic mix of global rankings on the cards this afternoon. And the best news is I've got no news or information to bring you, so we can go straight to the action. I'm ready, you guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. A ka-ching. Adaptive Argon 10v10. This, I think, is a new one to Galcast. Not 100% sure, but if not, or even if it is, because I can't remember and we know what my memory's like these days, we will take a look at the map. So let's just slow it down a notch. We'll take it to -1, actually. Give us time to go through the players and maybe take a look at the map before the action kicks off. We'll call this Team 1 up here at the top as usual, and this Team 2 down here at the bottom as per usual. Going first for Team 1, it's not rearguard air position, because I'm not even sure this map can have one or have a spot classified as that, but we have Lil Sid Lil. He's going Seraphim in baby blue, going first land, and to his right over here, going Cybrin, it's Hell Doctor in Elephantine Grey, opening first land. I don't know what the capital R is about at the end of his name. Maybe it's for aesthetic reasons. If that is the case, someone should mention to him that it doesn't improve it in any way. Team member number 3, if there was a rearguard air position, this would be it. It's Blue Owl, very sensibly going electric blue, not so sensible going Cybrin, going first land. Team member number 4 to the south over here, it's Medicraze, another Cybrin. He's going Pontiff White, going first land, and we're going to see what he's going over here. He's going second air next to the Hydro. And last but not least, down here in Hallyborange Orange, it's another Cybrin. He's going first land. It's Momo Uchu. What is it? A Momo Uchiha. Momo Uchiha. I'm going to call him Momo, mainly because it's easier to say, but also because I don't know if it was a Scottish thing, but my dad, who's of Scottish descent, when growing up, his kind of kiddie name for doing a number 2, a poo, was going Momos. And so when I see this guy, I will think of doing a number 2, and not just because of his race, but because of his name now. So Momo, he is. I probably offended a whole culture now. Don't blame me. It's a Scottish thing. It's not, I didn't invent that culture either. So anyway, moving swiftly on. So it was 1 Seraphim and 3 Cybrin. No, sorry, 4 Cybrin. What I'm talking about, it's a 5v5. So 1 Seraphim and 4 Cybrin there for Team 1. Let's take a look at Team 2 going first for Team 2 down here. Very aesthetically pleasing UEF, not so aesthetically pleasing Volvo Beige, opening first land, and he's already strutting his stuff to the exit point of that plateau at the eastern edge of that bottom base section. Team member number 2, I didn't even bring it into it. It's Piku. It's Piku going off against Momo, which is short for Poo. So Piku and Poo on that bottom right-hand corner are going to be squaring off. Team member number 2 over here, it's Evan Gali, or Evan, going Seraphim in Vivacious Violet. He's opened first land, going second air there next to the Hydro. And team member number 3, it's Lape. It's another UEF, going Ferrari Red this time, going first land, second air next to the Hydro. Definitely some patterns emerging here in the setup for this game. Salamander is team member number 4, another UEF, this time in Mellow Yellow, going first land, going second air next to the Hydro. And last but not least, blow it out your ass, it's Duke Nukem, another UEF, going Cyanide Scion, going first land, second air, but he don't need no Hydro. Duke Nukem doesn't need power, you see. He has huge quantities of power in his biceps, and there it is. I saw somewhere that John Cena might be playing the role of Duke Nukem in a film. There'll be a whole generation of people probably who watch Galcast who have no idea even who Duke Nukem is. Your life is the poorer for it. Let me just say that. Except not the last game. The last game should never have been put into publication. Just forget that exists. But there he is anyway. So it's 4 UEF and a Seraphim down here versus 4 Cybrin and a Seraphim up there on the top. So it's kind of a weird role play thing. It's like a little civil war thing going on. Seraphim with the Cybrins and the UEF siding with different bunches. Interesting stuff. Speaking of interesting, let's take a look at the map before things really get going, as we don't have a lot of time left. So you've got these 4 plateaus, but essentially there's only 1 mechs on each of the 2 central ones. The 2 main plateaus that have 3 mechs as a piece are here and here. I don't think they are at all accessible by land. You're going to have to airdrop onto these, or indeed do what Piku is doing down here with his ACU, just throw a distance build up the cliff edge, or grab a couple of land factories that way, and he's getting himself some mass in the process as well. Why not? Probably the best way, only other way to do it, obviously, is to airdrop engineers, which is what Duke Nukem is doing very aggressively, making a play for what would have been Sid's plateau, arguably, throwing down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 engineers onto that plateau already, and just building land factories all day, it would seem, to try and make a play for that. And he's not alone. Salamander bringing in engineers as well. Where is he headed? He's coming into the center of the plateau. So Team 2 making a major play for these 3 mechs and a lot of reclaim or so up on that portion of the map. Very aggressive indeed. What have we got here? Hair Doctor heading towards the center of the map, as is Evan. Anybody else in the area? We've got Nate moving in as well. Piku's still working on his land factories over there. What is Momo doing? Momo just leaving his base now, it would seem. Where is the rally point? He's coming down here to the canyon entry point. What is going on over here? A little bit of an engagement going down on the transport. That transport gets killed off by Blue Owl's interceptors, which are themselves in danger from getting shot down by Duke Nukem's inties. But main point of interest is the fact that those 3 NGs made landfall safely. They're going to get to work on picking up a land factory, but not before they hoover up these civilian structures at large landing pad and what looks like a very ungainly piece of dentistry equipment right there next to it. They're not even going to actually have to hoover all of those up. You can squeeze a land factory in. How very neatly done indeed. Sid going for the gun upgrade. I just love where we're at now with FAF, with all of the extra mods and stuff, the helpful information it brings you. He's paused the upgrade, but he's 25% in on the speed and range upgrade on the gun there. Of course, if I was ever really truly proficient, all I would have needed to do was look at the arms and get a good understanding of what was going on in terms of the upgrades. Never quite got my head around which was which. Evans swatting aside a couple of T1 units in the middle there belonging to her Doctor. Now a little bit of counter droppage there from Medic Rays. We do have a couple of engineers on the ground, but they don't last long. Strikers are there, lying in wait from Duke Nukem, and those NGs get wasted. That land factory never really got near completed, but we do have a few NGs online on the ground belonging to Hair Doctor, and I think they're going to go undetected unless we get a lucky pass over from an interceptor for Team 2 or a scout plane. They look like they're close to completing an auto gun. Strikers belonging to Duke Nukem much more concerned with taking down the remnants of that factory, and indeed that PD is online, so we could have a little bit of a beachhead or a plateau head, if you will. Doesn't have quite the same ring to it, but a stronghold. Let's just go with that, a stronghold for Team 1 to at least attempt to fight back on this plateau, but it's going to be a tough order. We've already got 4 land factories online, more engineers, more troops being airlifted in all the time. We've got static emplacements going up, rail guns, PD. Team 1 looking pretty much firmly in control there. What have we got over here? T2 on the way there for Momo's comm. And gun damage and range upgrade on the way for Piku's comm down here. Upgrades the order of the day for all of our corner based ACUs. A nice cheeky little drop in from Duke Nukem. dropping in some strikers right essentially into Sid's main base. Going straight after engineers, which are trying to throw down PD, but they're not going to manage it. They're not even going to get close. It's a little bit unfortunate he hasn't managed to squeeze in a Lobo there. That would really help him take down these structures. And considering Little Sid, just finished upgrading all of his core mechs to T2. He could have done some real economic damage there. I'm dubious as to whether he's going to get much success with that small platoon of strikers. They've taken down 1 mechs, but that is all. Mind you, there's not a lot heading in there. Sid very much concerned with Duke Nukem over here. Duke Nukem rolling forward with his comm and in shouting range now of Sid's comm as well. Sid with the gun upgrade, of course, on his comm. Duke Nukem's comm is unupgraded. We'll check back in on those two guys in just a second. Lots of action kicking off all over the map. The middle is no exception. We're starting to get groups of T1 engaging one another. Herr Doctor's comm pulling away from the center now. And still, Duke Nukem strikers up here are alive and kicking. They might get some T2 mechs kills here after all, although that factory is starting to produce tanks now. We've got some Zooey reinforcements coming in from the west. What's going on over here? Well, Sid and Duke Nukem are getting down to it, and this could be a colossal overextension from Duke Nukem. If anyone's going to do it, it's him. His engineer starts work on a radar and then switches up to a PD. There's no way in hell Sid's going to allow that to get completed. Duke Nukem now below 50% HP and falling. He has got a couple of strikers with him, but they're not going to last too long. Remember, Sid's got that extra firepower on the comm. Duke Nukem into the red here, 2,800 hit points and falling. Needs to back up sharpish. He's moving away towards his factories over here. He has got engineers, but no defensive emplacements at all. He's trying to micro as best he can to try and force Sid to miss, but he's throwing out GGs. This is not a good start for Team 2 when they were looking so comfortable, having bad that plateau. Duke Nukem in trouble here, below 100 hit points. He's going to go down, and that's a horrible start for Team 2, who looked like they were pretty comfortable at the outset here. And what's even worse is a lot of the firepower that was securing this position is Duke Nukem. So assuming no fairies have to die here today, all of these structures and units about to go pop, and that will leave Salamander to try and hold the position against, interesting, Sid. So Herr Doctor has given all of his stuff over to Sid. Have there been any explanation for that in the chat? Well, I'm not seeing it if there is. He's still around. He's moved his comm over here, and the waypoint for that is around the back of Momo's base. But he's given everything over to Sid. Maybe he had to step out for a minute. I don't know. But that does, of course, mean that Sid, who was under pressure, has lost a few mexes here from a little run-by from Salamander. It's now the guy with the largest eco. Actually, this looks like he's bottlenecking on power. When he gets his power sorted out, he'll be the guy with the largest eco, and he's also the guy with the largest rating by a country mile, 2,300 in this game. I should have said, actually, incidentally, but things kicked off pretty quick. 92% game balance in this one. That's what we consider very nearly a balanced game, but not quite. There's a huge variable in ranking points, certainly for Team 1. Lowest rated player, Herr Doctor, at 1,100, and the highest rated player, 2,300, Sid. That's a huge discrepancy. Herr Doctor out of it for the time being, having given everything over to Sid. So it's like he just got stuff started and gave everything over to their high rated player. Team 2, highest rated player was Duke Nukem before he got wasted. He was all out of bubblegum, came to kick ass, but there were no asses to be found except his own. And last but not least, the lowest rated person, 1,300 for Team 2. That's late, so a significantly smaller range of global ranking points there for Team 2. A much more consistent play base. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out over the course of the game. But yeah, Nukem going down, their top rated player going down in the first 8.5 minutes. Not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. Salamander strolling in to try and cover the position, throwing down some triads now. We're still on -1. Yeah, we watched everything on -1. That's how busy the start of this game was. It actually didn't feel particularly slow at all. There was so much going on all over the place. I don't think I could have kept up with it really so well if I'd left it on normal game speed, but I can't pretend it was intentional. Salamander throwing down triads, getting a bit of a point defense war developing here between Sid and Salamander. I think Salamander's got the better start. There goes the T2 PD in the background for Sid. And a third triad, nearly 50% complete. Sid might have to drop back slightly here. Team 2 pretty much in control for the time being of the center. We're periodically getting these probing attacks coming in from Medicraze, but they never look like they're in danger of ousting Evan. He looks pretty comfortable here. Got his con, got some T2 PD online. Hair Doctor still sat over here now, motionless. We had any upgrade on what's gone on here? Hair lame. Members of Team 2 just realizing what's gone on. Sometimes things happen. Someone comes to the door. You remember you put a pizza in and you smell burning, or maybe you just have to go Momo's. Now we've got Janus coming in from late, and they're peppering Sid's position, taking out vulnerable exposed T1 tanks and also damaging the comm. Sid down to around 8,900, but just as things looking good in the skies in that area, in comes some Corsairs there from Blue Owl, this time targeting Salamander's position, and that shield already 50% depleted. Those Corsairs now coming in for a second run. Lape's Interceptors busy up here, tangling with Blue Owl's inties. It looks like they have a numerical advantage, although they are engaging over the top of some of Sid's mobile T1 anti-air. And down goes the shield and the structure to boot. Salamander now unprotected. He starts work on some rail guns, needs some ground-to-air capabilities. A little bit of micro moving to the right. Tries to get another one started, but that gets insta-gibbed. Still 3 or 4 Corsairs remaining. Blue Owl sending more in all the time. Where are these interceptors? They're down here late. Really needs to send these in to assist. Are they out of fuel or what? Not really. These look like they're out of fuel. Meanwhile, massive ground entanglement over in the east between Momo and Evan, and also Piku raising his head above the parapet. Got himself a TAC missile launcher online. Has already taken out a very essential core mechs there that was funneling mass into 3 land factories and the air factory. That'll be a painful loss indeed. TAC missile launcher online for Sid. Give you an idea on this map just how far these things reach. Very extensive range indeed. He can sting all of the mechs around here belonging to Salamander, especially the ones that he's expanded into, formerly belonging to Duke Nukem, of course. And of course he can hit Evan's position in the middle pretty comfortably as well. Lape has moved his ACU into the center to reinforce Evan's position. Medicraze has drawn his further to the south, but is now actually moving northwards once again. We have a ferry position set up there for Momo, who looks intent on claiming, or at least making a play for, the plateau down here. I don't think he's going to get much of an opportunity. He had managed to throw down a few poorly placed, I have to say, placements over here. They've been taken out by some Lobos moving up the canyon. I say they were poorly placed because of their orientation. They seem more concerned about clearing out termite mounds than laying down any fire on enemy positions. Forward, Piku marches. Momo looks pretty secure. Cerberus turret behind the shield gen over here, but only 1 or 2 Cerberus turrets in the mix here. had more Lobos in this pack, could have taken down that shield gen pretty comfortably and then withdrawn. More TAC missiles out, this time from Medicraze, who's branched out to help Sid in the top left-hand corner. Those missiles heading in towards Salamander and his forward mining operation. Duke Nukem's old base. There goes another T2 mechs. We take a moment to slow it down and just look at the eco side of things. Well, no surprises, Sid on 108 mass. And the next highest player there is Salamander on 66. So very significant differential between these teams at the moment. Power-wise, what have we got going on? 2.1k there for Sid. Salamander on 1.6k. No other major power players behind them. We do have a 1.6k for Lape. To knock this back up a notch as we take a look at what's going in at the foot of Medicraze and Momo's position over here. Evans potentially getting ideas above his station. A couple of TAC missile launchers online in the center as well for Evan. Evan also getting the nano repair on his commander, so TAC missiles playing an important role here in the mid game. Players trying to snipe as many mexes as they can before their opponents get operational tactical missile defense online. Now, what have we got? TAC missiles moving towards the center, going after Evan in the middle. They look like they might have been heading towards Evan's commander. Evan's commander's on the move anyway. And ASF's on the field, those wasps circling over the middle there, belonging to Lape. So he's advanced to T3 Air. I think that's the first T3 Air units we can see on the map. A cheeky strap bomber might be nice here. But no, he's sticking with air superiority for the time being. Trying to get a new shield gen online, a little bit further forward, positioning a bit more aggressive than before. Medicraze airdropping more NGs in to assist with the cleanup operation. Let's take a look at what's going on over here. Pretty quiet, all things considered over here. We haven't seemingly not progressing into any kind of next level bombardment, any Clink hammer production or anything like that. Static T2 artillery, mobile T3 artillery. Of course, those guys have a lot more mexes to upgrade, both sitting on 2 base. A lot more potential. And Head Doctor's actually back in it now. He hasn't requested his old base back from Sid, and that's probably a good thing on balance for his team. Sid's doing okay up there. It would not help them out for him to be suddenly down so much on eco. Instead, he's setting up shop over here and will probably just run what interference he can. Now we're seeing some Geminis on the field for Blue Owl, so he's progressed to T3 Air. Still TAC missiles raining down on the center from Sid, and this time he's taking out TAC missile launchers of his own. Evan, in turn, firing what missiles he has over towards Momo's Hair Doctor and Medicraze. Where's that one going? What on earth? That one collides with a bomber in midair and shoots it down. Truly marvelous sight, although he probably would have preferred that to connect with his actual target. Evan, with nano repair, gun upgrade, and T2, is facing massive resistance here. In comes some Corsairs from Sid. Evan down into the last third of his base health. Those Corsairs hanging a Louis and coming in for another pass. He needs to get under shield coverage ASAP. Momos has moved forward and thrown down Cerberus turrets as well. Evan in trouble here, backing away towards the shield. It's going to be touch and go whether he makes it. I think he might. 2,600 hit points left, and that will give himself some breathing room, but he needs to get some anti-air in there. Sharpish. Lape is still producing ASFs, but not in the quantity he needs to keep up with the air spam that seems to be coming out now from Sid and from Blue Owl. A lot of build capacity around that air factory of Blue Owls. Starting work on another T3 air factory. Wise decision indeed, and that shield gen's been depleted. Evan down to 3,400. Remember, he does have that nano upgrade, making him much more resilient than the average commander. But still, if this keeps up, it's not going to matter. Shield blinks on. They should have killed it when they had the chance. He starts work on another one. The structure just inside the radius of the original shield. Sensible town planning right there. Sounds obvious, but it's not always the easiest thing to do when you've got lots of T1 units swarming around you and you're just trying to get it online in a hurry. Nate assists his teammate, but Momos is advancing with a little PD creep. New Cybran base gone up just on the fringes of their own. 2 Cerberus turrets online and unleashing their tickly red Cybran. About to say Cybran hell, but with their DPS it's not so much, it's more like purgatory. Salamander, I'm concerned for his well-being if I'm honest. He's not put a great deal of resources into this forward position. Said that, there's not a great deal of tech over here either. We do have a T3 engineer online for Sid, but it is Cybran, so we're not going to get any Ravagers turning up anytime soon. Flapjacks lobbing shells towards Momo's southern position. Lots of zappers online though. That's at least a it's a one upgraded Cybran shield gen. D2. Second edition. Personal shield upgrade on the way for Salamander, and 20% complete. And we do have a mobile T3, a Demolisher up there, so he has at least brought something in to throw back towards Sid's position. What's going on with Herr Doctor? There's no role left for him in this game for the time being, unless he can figure out a way, some kind of epic mass fab farm. I don't know how you gather the mass to get that online, short of receiving substantial donations from his teammates, something that they're likely reluctant to shell out for right now. This old base, almost all core T3 mechs now. The last one is being worked on, and that little segue leads us nicely on to talk about general eco. Hold that, there's an attack on the way. Salamander under threat. It's all mostly T1 except for 2 bricks rolling in the front door. He has backup marching in of his own, mostly T1, but with a substantial contingent of T2 Mongoose as well. Down goes one of the 2 shield gens covering that base. Lots and lots of damage being thrown in from the Zooies. Those evil mobile suicide mortars. Not artillery at all as far as I'm concerned. One Ravager online, but it's unprotected now and a little far forward. And it's also focusing on the wrong thing half the time. It's to take out those bricks. Salamander surely likely to hold the position. In fact, his lower units need to take out the Zoos and then work on the bricks. Those Zoos would be slaughtered had he focused on them first. And actually, that's gone very badly indeed. Salamander gets a shield gen online just in time. His own shield, the personal shield on the comm, has been badly depleted. Income a huge wave of Corsairs from Sid. His personal shield's gone. The other shield he's just completed has gone, and he's now running for his very life. Those Corsairs are about to be intercepted by a very significant band of Wasps coming in there from late. Down they go. He's safe at least from air attack for the time being. Let's take a quick look at air numbers. ASF numbers, 23 there for late. Blue Owl has a group of fighters over here, 17. And then you factor in the massive blob of T1 interceptors belonging to Evan over here. It's definitely an air advantage on the field at the moment for Team 2, but it's not being capitalized upon at all. And Salamander still under significant threat, eating a, look like an artillery shell. We've got some static artillery online. Yes, we do. The Zutham, or whatever those are called, the Seraphim goodness Zutham. I should just not try. I should just not try. The Zutham under shield gen coverage. 3 operational, 2 TAC missile launchers. That firebase has everything you need. And now Salamander is still not safe, even dropping back this far. He is in range of those artillery emplacements. Another territorial loss now for Team 2. Salamander throwing Mongoose against Brick. Mass Zooey incursion coming around the back of Salamander's comm. If they stay away from the comm and make a run for it, they might get something sensitive. There is a Percy lying in wait. A whole row of demolishers that will likely be overshooting everything of interest right now. In comes a Stinger, one lone gunship. I think they could be doing so much damage right now if they had a decent number of gunships to call upon. Advanced nano repair underway for Evan, determined to use his comm to help hold that central position. TMD being taken out on the ridge there for Momo. Demolishers making a play for the shield coverage, but getting picked off by some bricks lurking at the foot of the plateau there. Only 2 of them make the shield coverage, but Percy's turn up just in time to stem the pressure. Kablow. And still no movement on this frontier down here between Piku and Momo's. This has been one of the most static areas of conflict that I can remember on a 5v5. Just no movement whatsoever. Advanced nano repair, 68% done. Right, we were going to talk about Eco before Sid went on the rampage, and he was doing a lot better. I'm wondering if he's power locked. Yes, he is. He's power locked significantly. He was up over the 200s before, and I'm sure he will be again when he sorts out his power issues. He's obviously building something significant, and it will be the power issues he's determined to sort out. It's going both to T3 mass extractor there, with huge amounts of build capacity being devoted to it, and an ion reactor as well. But when that ion reactor goes live, it should be a very different picture indeed. One remaining brick being ousted by Stingers. Late now, well aware of the air advantage he's got and is determined to use it. Has some gunships that he's putting to good use. Now Medicray's trying to cause problems for Evan with some Vipers. They are, however, unshielded, so a couple of Seraphim mobile missile launchers will counter them very nicely. And having said not a moment ago that there was no movement in this portion of the map, Kirsten, the commentator, comes into play, and a massive bank of demolishers start demolishing Momo's front line. One shield gen down, the other depleted, the other one's on an upgrade to the second edition shield gen. But it won't get completed, and now the emplacements are vulnerable. In fact, that whole position is surely untenable. There's so much mobile artillery here, which is now shield covered as well. Piku getting the personal shield on board. Momo under pressure. Evan senses blood. He's coming in with his comm. Remember, that has the advanced nano repair on now. 43,000 hit points on board that comm. He's taking a lot of damage, but he's got a lot of breathing room. And he's also got siege tanks in along with it. Hair Doctor, who really is only here for a bit of window dressing, is about to get utterly brutalized. Down he goes at 27 minutes. Doesn't really affect the game in any way. And Momo is in full retreat now, having seen a massive push from Piku coming up from the south. That's a lot of pillars advancing on his position. He has a couple of loyalists, but they're actually doing more harm than good, blocking his retreat. And he's not going to get out of there either. Boom, baby! Momo has gone. 2 players out in as many seconds, it feels like. Front line will now have to be covered by Medicraze, who's all the way back here. That's a massive win for Team 2, and they've got a lot of operational units down here still online, and a very tooled up comm. No, he's not tooled up. Look how much damage he took in that. Evan down to 10,000. Still sounds a lot, but deep in the red comparing where he was at just a moment ago. Late, heavily shielded on his comm, is nearby, but with the nano, the advanced nano repair, that HP will be repaired very quickly indeed, so not too much to concern him there. I'm sure he can get back into the action soon. The siege tanks, though, still rolling for him, taking out now Medicraze, who's forward shielded position. There's a T2 power-assisted radar, the Magnu on the plateau, on that ridge. If that is going to significantly affect their intel once that goes down. You can see it's covering this whole area down here. Not prioritizing it at all. That's a horrible mistake. Where is... Oh my god, kill the radar. It's so important. How is that still alive? Let's see. Well, they want to get in somewhere really important. They're going for the run by here. Medicraze drawing out his commander. Needs to be careful. Needs to remember these are siege tanks, and he is 100% unupgraded. 1,000 base HP, and that is it. That will not last long at all. Luckily for him, the siege tanks not prioritizing the comm, and the ones that are firing at him are getting blocked by the terrain. So overcharges here will serve him well, and he should be able to turn this attack around. Indeed, he had to engage. There was no question about that, but still a little bit scary compared to the chunky comms we've been used to seeing in this game so far. Thought we were about to have another ejection there. That really would have put this game in jeopardy for Team 1. Remember, they're still doing okay. They're still doing okay in this portion of the map. They forced Salamander back. Duke Nukem has gone. We now have a 3 missile silo strong battery over here belonging to Evan, who has already taken himself back up to 75% health with that upgrade. Oh, but a horrible engage in the air there for Late. Look at that. Those Geminis getting the absolute proverbial drop on those Wasps. And late forced to turn tail of run, and I think that's handed general air dominance over to Team 1. Let's take a look. Yeah, 34 Geminis operational versus, I think that was about 19. 21 Wasps operational there for late. But what really matters is how quickly those units can be replaced. We've got 3 well-assisted T3 air factories belonging to late down there. Compare and contrast that with, well, we've got 5 operational there for Blue Owl. 172 mass being pumped out for him. Late on 126, so Blue Owl with significantly more replenishment capabilities there for his Air Force than Late. But Sid running away with the things in the eco game. 344. Next highest is Evan, sitting in the center there on 186. Then we got on 177 Piku down in the bottom right hand corner. Blue Owl on 172. Medic Rays on 134. Team Eco though, Team 1 651, still in the lead by 50 mass versus 607 there for Team 2. Total Eco over the course of the game, can't really rely on it because you're talking about mass that's been reinserted. 632 for Team 1 versus 598. But we have a Megalith online for Sid, marching through the canyon now on towards Salamander's forward position. Yes, we have a lot of Percys in the area and they've got some shield coverage. But if we have any sense from Sid whatsoever, he'll keep this bad boy at some range and lay down fire that's directed a bit better than that. Again, lots of very, very unfortunate scorpion nests in that part of the desert on that cliff edge. And the base is faring pretty well. Megalith advances forward with its giant bulbous bottom. Lays down fire on the shield. There it goes. Now the Percivals are in danger. Ride of the Stingers should be playing as in come the gunships. What do we have in terms of anti-air defense capabilities? We do have some ISLs, the T1 mobile. Where is Blue Owl and his Air Force? He's watching the eastern edge of the map at the moment. Piku has marched his Percivals right up the field but has dropped back. Sid has sent some bricks to reinforce Medic Ray's ground position over the eastern edge of the map. Salamander advancing forward with the Percivals, perhaps trying to get under the firing arc of that Megalith and use the terrain to his advantage. Not working that well though, lots of Percival casualties. And that Megalith still faring very well indeed. Over 100,000 hit points still on board that experimental. Not looking like there's an awful lot on the field to repel that bad boy right now. Salamander down here looking very uncomfortable indeed. He's working on some clink hammers to sting that guy at range. But frankly, I'm not sure how much that is going to help right now. He had a wave of undetected Ravagers up here that could open up, but he doesn't. Piku over in the east advancing once again with a party-looking group of T3 assault bots. More bricks moving in all the time from Sid, who really is carrying their team here. And now he gets to work on some Ravagers. That Megalith would have to advance a little bit though for those guys to be much use. Salamander needs to take out these Zuis before they take out that shield. It's not going to happen though. Now terrain working badly for him once again. Oh, that will be a very welcome sight indeed. Evan Almighty to the rescue. with an Ithota. How much of Salamander's base can it save? That's the question. That Megalith has taken some fire now. It's into the yellow, below 75% on 94,000. Salamander's comm out in the open as Team 1 and Team 2's air forces tangle overhead. Again, going very badly indeed for Team 2's air force. Again, Blue Owl asserting his position in the air game. Fewer and fewer UEF wasps around. Salamander might as well come in and throw some overcharges into the mix to help out Evans' experimental. Evans' experimental marches right up to that Megalith, starts blasting him in the face. Percival's to the other side, trying to contain some bricks that are making a move on Salamander's base. But oh no, that Ithota is about to die, taking fire from all sorts. But over in the east, there is a good news story for Team 2. Piku takes out Medicraze and drops Team 1 down to 2 players. Back over in the west, the Ithota taken out. Just one too many Percivals for Medicraze to deal with. Siege tanks now rolling in from Evan. But there's a Monkey Lord lying in wait. How long will the Monkey Lord last though? Percival's in the area too. And they've got some shield coverage as well. Whalers out. T1 using their air advantage to full effect now with T3 gunship pressure on the land forces of Team 2. Percival's marching around the headland. Getting, I was about to say gunned down by the Megalith, but they're faring amazingly well as they always have done. And now are in range of that Megalith. Could they finally deal with it and eliminate the threat? I've got to say, when I saw that puppy coming down the western edge of the map, I thought that was it for Salamander, but he's still in it. And Evans turned up with another experimental. That would be a very welcome sight indeed for Salamander. That huge plasma weapon connects, taking chunks of health off the Megalith. Bye-bye. And it mocks up the rest of the Zuis. There are bricks though, and they're still causing it damage. It's only got another 10,000 HP left. This would be a killer blow if they can manage to take this assault bot out again without finishing off or clawing back any territory. That actually an attempt to airdrop a whole load of T1 artillery in, I think it was, to cause damage in a very heavily damaged base already. Look, all the sensitive structures that have been destroyed. That is not Duke Nukem's old position, remember, that is up here. That is Salamander's core base. And they didn't get the job done on the ground, but the Whalers certainly will. Look how many of them there are. Blue Owl annihilates the Ithota. That is a deadly, deadly gunship pack, and now they've got an experimental gunship as well. Sid coming in with a Soul Ripper. And surely that's the end of Salamander now. Going to make a beeline for the base. Where is Salamander's commander? He's working on kennels. What he needs is T3 anti-air right now. He has one or two. Gunship will prioritize those naturally. The Whalers are being sent in as well. Caution being thrown to the wind here. They just want to start taking out some comms, having lost 3 of their players in as many minutes. Salamander under Whaler pressure and Soul Ripper pressure. The shield doesn't last long, and the armor will last even less. Boom! Salamander down. at 37 minutes, and there's a nuke, and it's out from Blue Owl. T1 just piling on the pressure. Where's it going? It's going over here to Piku's main base. I'm assuming he scouted. Piku was working on a nuke of his own. That silo in the blast radius of the potential oncoming nuke if it connects, and I see no reason at first glance as to why it shouldn't. I can't see anti-nuke anywhere in this area of the map belonging to Team 2. Boom, baby! Oh, man. All of the engineers working on the assault bot killed off, but the assault bot was at least completed. But Piku and his eco now massively depleted, down to 99. That's 5 mexes that would have been at T3, I'm sure. And that Soul Ripper still online and going to absolute town on Lapes' main base before moving on towards Evan's main base as well. This is a collapse, an absolute defensive collapse you are witnessing here from Team 2, having looked pretty strong, or at least comfortable. It's been an even game. I wouldn't have said they were ahead. It's definitely been an even game throughout this one. But the Soul Ripper and the Whalers operating with complete impunity now, and Team 2 with no hope of getting an operational Air Force online anytime soon. Those gunships and the experimental gunship can execute sorties at their leisure. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. Unquestionably one of the Cybran's most impressive pieces of weaponry. They're trying to turtle up in the middle, Evan and Late, but it does beg the question as to what would you do at this point. The game is surely won. Sid and Blue Owl reaching critical mass and playing very comfortably indeed. Piku the next to drop out, it would seem. Soul Ripper locking onto him. Massive Corsair bombardment, almost all of it misses, but the Soul Ripper gets the job done. Piku bows out at 39 minutes. Are we operating? There we were at regular speed. I just don't know with this game. So much, it's been so busy from start to finish. And a Control K from Evan, who bows out, as does Late. They know it's over. No point flogging a dead horse. That is game. Very well played indeed from Sid and Blue Owl. I am absolutely hoarse after that. I hope I haven't been screaming at you guys too much, but damn, lots and lots of action in that one. It has to be said. Very entertaining stuff indeed. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. As always, more to come from me in the future. Don't forget, if you feel so inclined, you can support me on Patreon. Each donation helps me and by extension the channel and thus the community, so thank you in advance for any very kind donations that come my way. As always, more to come in the future. Hopefully one this Thursday. I'm still needing to get in contact with Brink and Taquito and Architect, see if they mind me casting that final. I'm sure they've already done it. I haven't had a look. But hey, it's just another perspective, right? And it's such an important thing. There was a decent amount of prize money. There was a trophy as well, which was like some giant glass love spike. Yeah, so check that out on the forums. But impressive. There aren't many trophies going about for communities of this size for online tournaments. But anyway, guys, as I say, I do hope you enjoyed it, and more to come from me in the future. Until next time, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.